It's beautiful. This morning I got up and the sun was rising up through the trees. It was absolutely gorgeous. The sky was blue and the light of the sun was sparkling through the trees. And it just fills me with awe, that beauty. And to think that any morning I can get up and I can go out and I can experience that. It's beautiful. It's like a dream come true to me. I can remember a time when I was camping with a family, actually cottaging, and at the resort there was a family that had 3 or 4 kids, and I looked at them and I said, "You live here?" And they said, "Yeah." And I thought, wow, to think that every morning you can get up and you can be here. I thought that was like just fabulous. I guess I was about 10 at the time. I thought, oh wow, can you imagine just coming out to the forest? We lived in the city. My parents provided us with a beautifully comfortable home. We had everything we needed, but it was like a city block, house after house after house. You could see every neighbor 6 doors down. When we first started talking to people about moving out to an area like this, they were all like, really? Like, are you sure? Like, do you really? It's going to be so remote. The conveniences, how are you going to do it? And I just thought, we'll figure it out. When Glenn and I first started looking for the properties, that was one of the things that we looked at, is how far from conveniences, how far from services like medical and dental and fire services. And we figured all that out and came to a decision of how far we thought we were willing to go. And that's something for people to really think about, right? How far are you willing to go? Like, some people live on an island. Like, that's so romantic, right? Living on an island, but you're on an island. You have to go to get to the mainland. You have to go by boat or a helicopter or a plane, but they love it, right? And it sounds so romantic. But how far do you want to go? Some people live in off-grid cabins just far enough out of town just to get away from it all, and they can go back and forth for the conveniences at a short drive. The more and more we looked at rural properties, the more we pinpointed what we wanted to do, what we were willing to give up. How far were we willing to drive to go to the corner store? There is no corner store here. Here comes the snow again. How far do you want to drive? Some people are willing to drive quite a ways. Some people I know take snowmobiles because they live on seasonal roads. So it's something that really, it's what do you want to do? How much are you willing to give up for the freedom that you want? I fell in love with this spot. This was site number 2 for the cabin. If we didn't build it where it is, it would have been built here. You can see down below on the way to the wetland. When I think of all the challenges that we went through to get here, we talk about them in other videos. You can check them out. We'll have the links at the end of the video. The challenges that we went through living here, living up at the cabin, for 4 months. It seems so easy, right? I thought, we just have to bring our stuff up the hill. We have this great cleared trail. We can pull it in the sled. The freedom. See, you get to do silly things like this. Oh, I didn't expect that. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, it's gorgeous. I love walking in snow like this. It's gorgeous. One of the biggest fears I had was getting snowed in. But it was still a challenge. Like if it was snowing like this and you had to get your propane, you had to go get it, right? And my biggest fear was not being able to. And that winter that we moved into the cabin, the locals said it was the worst winter they had in 20 years. 20 years! That's the winter we decided to go live off grid out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it was a challenge. I remember the night that we woke up, it had to be 2 in the morning. And it was so cold. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it was so cold. It was like our noses were cold. 3 o'clock in the morning, there I am trudging down in a snowstorm like this to get their propane. And then we had to hook it up. It was so cold. And we did it. But you know what? That was a really good lesson because when it was my day to bring it up, I made sure it was up and everything was ready to go. When I remember back to when I was working and we were living in a small town, a lot of the conveniences were just taken for granted. It was just so easy. Turn on the tap and you get hot water, cold water. You can have air conditioning if your house gets too hot. Run to the corner store if you need cream or if you need to grab something for lunch for tomorrow. And I have to admit, I was one of the people that took it for granted. It was just so easy picking up stuff on the way home from work. You'll stop in at the corner store, whatever. There's so many conveniences we just take for granted. Flicking a light switch, turning on a tap and having hot water. Going just outside and getting your mail at your door. Just all kinds of things we take for granted. To move remotely into a small cabin and then to continue on to what we have today, it has really taken a big change of lifestyle. Now, is it worth it? Some people ask me, is it really worth the inconvenience? Well, first of all, I consider going grocery shopping once a month not an inconvenience anymore. At first, it was a struggle, not really an inconvenience. It's a mindset, really, is what it is. Is it willing to give up the convenience of running around all the time after work? Yeah, it is. Well, this has been a great walk. You know, my day started out a beautiful blue sky and the sun shining through the trees, and then I've had snowstorms, light snow and heavy snow, and like you walked through it with me today, and it's been really nice. I've enjoyed the time. For Glenn, I'm Maureen. Over and out, and take care. Now to get up.